You might be asking, what's with the vest, huh? Yeah, I know. I'm wearing a vest. What do you want to know? Well, you're definitely going to ask, what's with the vest? Well, that's not the important question. What you should ask is, what the heck is that light doing up there? And another thing you should ask, yes, I'm going to review the Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Why? Well, here's an example. Because it's my channel, I do what I want. Well, that's not the main answer. The main answer is, while I was watching Dispatch, it was coming out every Wednesday. Now, since Dispatch is finally over and there's something you need to be waiting there, I had to watch something to entertain myself there on every Wednesday or maybe Thursday because time difference. And then I did. Not really though, I didn't find it. I found Hazbin Hotel though, because it was a continuation. The fact that they were both on the same date, trying to, cover up, their own seasons and making their own shows, I would prefer Dispatch over this. My thought was like, well, now that Dispatch is over, I gotta watch something. And then Hazbin Hotel was like there, and oh well, might as well try something new. But I didn't try something new. I've already watched Hazbin Hotel Season 1, so basically this is going to be a mashup, or I will be talking about Season 1 after all. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. It's my channel. What are you going to do about it? But there's also another reason why I, wanted to talk about, because, woo-wee, comparing to both of them, both have the themes of redemption and also the theme of, forgiveness and other stuff that involves, on Dispatch. I'm not gonna counter this with Dispatch. Comparing this to, Dispatch is like comparing, a phone charger to a nuclear power plant. Now you might be asking with the vest. Okay, the reason why I'm wearing this is to protect myself from the people who enjoys this show, their fandom. Yes, Hazbin Hotel fandom. As you know, the Hazbin Hotel fandom is really weird. Now don't get me wrong, I know that some people are normal out there, and I admit, yes, this show is really wacky. It's an adult cartoon show, and the fandom is really weird. There's even that one time where there's a kid interviewing one of the voice actors, and he talks about really weird and inappropriate stuff of what the characters are gonna do. And when I was watching, I was like, ugh. So yeah, let's not compare Dispatch to this, because I know that both of them came out on Wednesday, but I watched it on Thursday. So yeah, let's talk about it. Obviously, we're going to do the 10 thingies in here, the pacing, the show, the writing, the main things like the plot and everything, the lore. And the other one, the simple small stuff like the references or something else like details or plot twists or fourth wall breaks, funny stuff. That's the usual we're going to take. Now, you probably want the bad stuff for it because it's way funnier, because bad stuff for them is funny. And whoo-wee! My gosh, there was... Ugh. But good thing I have this vest on to protect myself from the fandom. So anyways, yeah, let's talk about it. First, I asked my little sister. She basically is a Hazbin Hotel hater. She's basically the professional about this show, and she's a 100% hater. I tried to ask her multiple times, what, do you at least like one thing in this show? And she says, yes, if the show didn't exist. That was her straight answer. He could never said anything straight. You never made her own decisions, but now he does. This was her decision to not like the show. All right, the bad stuff. Wow, there was a lot of bad stuff. Well, let's go with the writing. Whoo-wee, P.U. stinky. All right, the writing isn't that bad. All right, in season 2, since Charlie has been doing with the hotel, dealing with this stuff, and then there comes the new villain. Let me tell you about the writing and the comedy, because it involves everything. So imagine if you were a kid. Well, never mind. Imagine if you were an adult, but you still somewhat of a kid. You're an adult. You understand drugs and swears, slurs, and inappropriate stuff. But you have the attitude of a child to understand that. It comes with their new villain Vox and, everyone. I'm not going to even explain the plot right now because it's not really relevant. I'll give you a short synopsis about it. So basically, Vox, the main villain, the TV guy, He's trying to frame Charlie into doing this and that, Fox can declare war on heaven, and heaven is still confused whether they, redeeming sinners or not. Whoopee! Yay! Basically, almost the same thing as season 1. I'll give you a short synopsis about it. Wait, I already said that. Just kidding. So, what I'm trying to say is, it's basically almost like the same as season 1, where they do have a problem, which almost never be resolved, but then they come back again. And that's not like saying it's the same thing, but I'm just saying that there's some similarities to the writing back with season 1. Now, I'm not a filmmaker or a showmaker. This is my opinion, and sometimes people's opinions can be wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is my opinion, and obviously my opinion is right, and if you're saying it's wrong, then keep an eye on yourself. I could talk all about the writing here as much as possible, but I'm trying to keep this video short since my phone is about to explode because I have so many RAMs. Next, the characters. Gosh, the characters are absolutely annoying. There's some characters I do like. Let's talk about that one. Like Alistair, yeah. Basically, people before, like when they were calling Alistair a fraud, he wasn't all that powerful, he wasn't that strong, he wasn't the big tough guy that everybody loves. But until the end, where I forgot about spoilers. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, spoilers or not, you won't even like this show. So during the final episode, he tricked him, like hitting two birds with one stone, which is kind of a cool thing about his trait, I guess. But the thing is about Alistair, his character, is that whenever he swears or whenever he loses his temper or gets off character, that's when things go wrong. It's basically like when you have a supervillain that's so calm and chill. Like, so for example, Shroud. I know I'm comparing it to Dispatch, but when they start swearing and lost their coolness and comes to temper, they don't become a cool supervillain now. They lost the plot. However, I guess Alistair was still fine, as a great character. Now, for the characters I hate, there is a lot. But if I can conjunct them all into one, I would say Charlie Morningstar, aka the main character, Charlie Morningstar, the son of Lucifer Morningstar. I've never hated the main character in my entire life until her appearance. Like, I'm being honest with myself. I've never hated the main character in any TV series or show, never before, until her. She is definitely so annoying at sometimes, but not sometimes. This was always until like a few episodes in. She's basically neglecting everyone who thinks that she can do everything in herself. Kind of makes her look like an egotistical, person. And all her silly acts, like you pretending to act like a child, it's just so annoying. I get that they're making their character as like, hey, I'm really traumatized about this, and I'm really sad about one of our friends who died. But then, during the later episodes, she gets redeemed. But her way of coping is just so wrong about what she does to other. For example, he let Angel Dust's abuser into his safe space, which is definitely not a good thing, and he doesn't even listen to other people. She's basically just a neglectful, narcissistic, egotistical person, or maybe just an idiot. And not the type of idiot where it's like, no, you're supposed to do that. No, Dora, the ocean is that way. Clearly there's answers to her solution, but it feels like the writers are just, we'll just make it her dumb as possible. She's literally unaware with every single thing that's going on. Like, she could fix everything. I know she has some weird coping things for her mom, and I don't even know what the reason why she built this hotel. Obviously, she wants to redeem people and find a separate ways to have it. But there's also the things of, like, I have, like, daddy and mommy issues for some reason. Now, I just don't know what makes sense of her right now. And all the silly, he does, it's just very annoying because not only that she's dumb, but she's also an imbecile. Most of the other characters here are also, somewhat, or just fillers. For example, not Angel Dust though, Husk and that Cherry Bomb lady, and then Baxter. They're literally just there for plot holes and just a plot tool. They were just there as a convenience. Yes, you got your Cherry, Cherry Bomb with her friend, Cherry Bomb with Serpentious, which is I understand, and I'm sure that, and I kind of like Serpentious while he was in heaven. I really don't like most of the characters in heaven, including probably Abel. I do like the Speaker of God though, even though she showed once. I mean, she looks awesome. I don't like anybody else. For example, my most least favorite character is either like, well, probably the gatekeeper. I forgot his name. Saint Peter and also Abel. They just look so like plushiest and emotionless. I mean, heaven's so weird. And I don't know if they try to pull out the lore as much as possible. All right, enough for me yapping. So right in front of me is a professional right there. So I'm gonna ask him about Hazbin Hotel. What makes it absolute garbage? Hey man, what do you think? No? All right. So apparently he's unavailable right now. But I'm gonna continue yapping. Now, is there a character that I actually really like? Well, other than Alistair, Vox is that person actually. Vox is an okay villain. Vox here is sort of a goat, but also sometimes can be just as annoying as, Charlie is about how her laughs and, hey, I'm annoying and I'm a terrible person. But also his backstory was also, kind of generic. He had a cool song and his backstory, like I said, it was generic, but it wasn't too generic. I guess it was pretty interesting. How did he get here? But I'm also thinking that he was, there just for the villain, not for the love of the game. I think there is some, some kind of writing that says he was in it for the love of the game. His song does kind of say it like that. I just admit it. But yes, he is a actual threat here with all the stuff that's going on. He declaring war and creating the super weapon. And him and, interacting with Alistair, yeah, we get it. They're talking to each other. It's easy to bait him. Yeah, it kind of is, which also makes him really a bad, shitty character. I like it if he, doesn't fall for what Alistair says. That would be kind of amazing. And most importantly, he says, yes, I'm annoying. I'm a terrible person. Thank you for being terrible. I hate you. I hate you so much. Thank you. It is pretty annoying once he keeps doing that. It's kind of like the Chinese water torture when he keeps telling me wow, this guy is bad. This guy is horrible. Yeah, I don't like it. There's also character or his, backstory with Alistair when he used to work together. And I don't know what they're trying to do here. I think they're trying to make Alistair the main villain at season 3. I understand they're going that. And Vox is just, oh man, I trusted you. Oh man. And here's the thing. I don't really care if he gets betrayed. I mean, he was supposed to expect this in hell or something. I don't know. He needs his friendship. Yes, he was right. People do need to, don't trust anyone. This is hell or whatever. And probably another character I don't like is it's either Adam back in season 1. I know he's annoying. He's supposed to be the main villain, but damn, he isn't such an annoying. It's like I said. It's just literally the Chinese water torture. You just keep repeating it over and over, and it just makes me, ugh, gosh. Also, there were so many arcs were going on here. Where the Angel Dust arc, where she's, tackled Husk. I don't know if it's being resolved or their chemistry is just almost the same as back in season 1. There's also Nifty and Baxter arc, and the arc with, Serpentious. Everyone is getting screen time. The problem with this everybody getting screen time is that almost no one is getting screen time. What I meant to say was people are getting actual development. Baxter is literally just there to help. Like I said, Nifty's there to, he's a comic relief or something. Husk, I really liked the Husk and Angel stuff back in season 1 when they had something good. But now it just goes back again where they're, distrust each other. Alright, Cherry Bomb is there. Okay. Serpentious was great. He was helping in heaven. He enjoyed heaven. He tried to help during the final episode, and it was fine. Now here's my biggest complaint about the show. Get ready, Hazbin Hotel fandom. The show likes to give you what you want, but not what you need. For example, there's this hell of a boss. You obviously know what hell of a boss is, and there is this I don't know, last season, last episode, where they gave you what they want by giving the one of the characters, hitting the characters that people don't like because they get what they deserve. That's not how it's supposed to go. There is no there is no motivation. There's no reason to do that. It just there for people's eye candy, for people's pleasure. Hey, you see, guys, we listened to you. This is what you wanted. We don't know anything about how continuation of the writing goes. But hey, look, your least favorite character is getting beaten. That's pretty cool, right? And that's mostly all the stuff I wanted to complain. There is so much else to complain, but mostly it's just in the writing, the characters, and the plot, and also the lore. I understand the lore continues with Christianity. It also involves with Christianity and Judaism, probably Islam at some point. I don't know. But my point is, this is a really hard concept to follow because you're really just going out for, what can you pull from which lore to which mythology. As a Christian, I understand that yes, the redemption thing is great, but yikes, can you do it in a better way? I honestly don't know where the money is going. Because here's the good thing I'm going to say, okay? There's a good part. The animation. The animation is actually good. It's really good. I mean, it got smoother, it got more brighter. There's probably more details about it, which is way better than season 1, I guess. There's a lot of facial expression is shown, which I'm pretty sure that's where all the budget came in, not where, the writers. If the animators were getting paid with gold bars, the writers were getting paid with stubs and potatoes. Now, there's one other good thing here, kind of. There's the music. I kind of enjoy one part of the music, which is, I forgot which one it is called. Hear My Hope was really good, but there's some bad stuff we need to talk about it, we'll get to the ending part when I'm going to talk. The next song is Love in the Bottle and Your Losing Streak. It does sound good, and it has a really good meaning where they just don't jumble up words or anything. But whoever are the singers, they did a pretty good job. And I also know that Abel is the singer of the Fallout Boys. Yeah, I guess it was pretty good. Everyone there was a good singer, and I understand how the music was great. It's not basically a musical. But there was some really good music at some point. Especially the ones with, what's their name? Loot with Gravity. It is a hard-hitting, song until the end, Because I'll tell you about the reason for this. Most simplest thing I can tell you is that it was just so, almost a bit of corniness in it. But that's going to be another video. Maybe. Or maybe not. I won't explain everything, This is just a really free show. Alright, we're going to the ending. Now, episode 7 and 8 could have been really great if it weren't for one thing, Vox being the same thing. He's just literally the same thing I said before, the annoying brat who just couldn't, suppress his feelings, just to wipe out Alistair's, grinning smile. It made him so cringe when he is so mad and understand his... Okay, yeah, sure. The other one is the ending part, which is probably most of you guys would love the ending part. And I understand, it's a pretty cool animation. And the bad guys and good guys are helping each other. Wow! Now, I get they were doing because the beginning of the joke of the show was the power of friendship. Yippee! Don't you like it, guys, when best friends work together? Hi, fist bump, guys. Power of friendship. We'll use the power of friendship to fix everything. Where they, get rid of the giant super weapon. It feels like there was no risk or anything because it's pretty lame, okay? I admit that some people think, wow, the power of friendship. It's pretty lame, out of nowhere, came out of nowhere. What was the point of all this? It is just so lame of how the ending went. Maybe some people would like it, but, I wouldn't. Because, like I said, it came out of nowhere. It was all out of, there was no risk, no risk, no reward, no dangers whatsoever. Like it was bound to happen, and it was like, oh, everything's all goody two shoe, I guess. And for some reasons, the villains were there. Why? Because like I said, Hazbin Hotel and Vinci Pop likes to give people what they want and not what they need. They need to see eye candy stuff. Well, that's all I have to say. That's pretty much it. Is there anything else good there? The fight scenes. There's one more thing I like about this. The fight scenes. I can't believe it's been this long since I talked. But the fight scenes were good. The ones like Alistair versus Vox were always the great ones. Thinking about with their powers. I just don't know why Alistair looks like least powerful during the other episode. Yes, his cane was broken, but I thought he was the most powerful sinner in hell. And then Vox was the most powerful sinner in hell. But then get beaten up by Valentino because he was crazy. Okay, sure. But anyways, yeah, that's about it. I can't believe I yapped about how much I don't like about Hazbin Hotel. Maybe because all my stuttering that happened in a few seconds, or maybe because I've been repeating stuff. But I gladly got one more thing. I brought a professional here right in front of me. Hey dude, tell me what you really don't like about Hazbin Hotel.
It doesn't even deserve my insults.
Well, you heard it there, folks. If she doesn't like the show, then I don't know who will. But yeah, that's about it. If you guys enjoy the show, sure, go ahead. I just don't know how they're gonna continue this with the cliffhanger of Lilith, Charlie's mom, saying, "Hello, Mom." Sure, whatever. Yeah, anyways, that's about it. I'm not gonna burn my phone or waste my RAMs over, mid-show. I won't say mid. It has some good qualities. And I'm pretty sure, I hope it gets, better without being, leaked by a few people. Because there were leaks a few months ago. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. Please don't hurt me. This is just an opinion of mine. Sorry if I offended you. Maybe not sorry. See ya.